Hello and welcome, race fans, back to PTR TV, back here with the Rivalry Racing, the first race of the playoffs here from the Auto Club Speedway for 200 miles of action here tonight. Before we get started with our racing program, here's a look at what took place last week.
Welcome back to PTR TV. After that recap of All-Star Night last week, they had their last chance qualifier, then they had the All-Star race, which confirmed the 10 drivers that will be fighting for the Rivalry Racing National Championship. So again, live at Auto Club Speedway tonight is myself, Corey Silva, behind the cameras and in the booth, along with Brandon Krutz and Joe Chris working behind the scenes. Brandon, we saw a pretty good all-star race last night. They had a very interesting format behind it, but now we are in the playoffs here at Auto Club. Under the lights, what can we expect tonight?
Well, it's going to be some very fast speeds here tonight, Corey. Also, you know, these drivers... gonna have to maybe work the trucks a little bit here. Could get a little bit loose on them, especially if they ride on one of those seams that you'll see through the corner. But, you know, they're not gonna be off the gas for very long here once things get going, and almost flat out, possibly even flat out for the first couple laps.
Yeah, I would expect that to be the case. You will see a lot of drafting here. That will be a huge thing here, setting up runs, maybe getting someone to work behind and giving you that critical push. But once these tires do wear, which will happen even under the lights, these trucks will kind of become a little bit of a handful, and you will definitely see the cream rise to the top.
Yeah, these drivers are going to want to stay on the gas as much as possible, and you know, even a little bit of a blip through the corner can really kill their momentum. And Corey, I think that's really the key here at the Auto Club Speedway, is keeping your momentum up through the corners.
Yeah, most certainly. As I said, you really need to get that run off of the corners. If you get loose, especially off corner number 2, which is really bumpy and kind of has an awkward corner exit, if you lose your momentum down these straightaways, you will get freight trained. But we do want to make sure that you are aware, the fans are aware of who will be fighting for the championships in these next 4 races. David Weishart, kind of the doctor as Brandon deems him to be. He is tied with Travis McDaniel, 2,003 points each heading into the playoffs. Then Joseph McWhorter with his win at Iowa has 2,001 points. And then Bryant Ward in 4th, Ricky Fagone in 5th, Brandon Stokes, Robert Victory, Phil Gary, Matthew Walzenbeck, and Garrett Grant, all with 2,000 points. Those are your top 10, your 10 chase drivers.
Those are the guys to look out for here tonight, and should be a pretty good show here, as always, with the Rivalry Racing League here tonight from the Auto Club Speedway.
Yep, so that is the end of the qualifying. They are just wrapping up their drivers' meeting, as a matter of fact. So now that has concluded, and these drivers will take to the grid, and we will let you know where these drivers are starting here tonight at the Auto Club Speedway for the Rivalry Racing League Race 1 of the playoffs here tonight. On the pole with a lap time of 41.023 seconds. Did not time that one out very well, did I? Tim Rossano on the pole tonight. David Weishart on the outside of the front row. Bryant Ward in 3rd. Travis McDaniel in 4th. Garrett Grant rolling off in 5th. Ched Martin in 6th. Then we have Michael Twetz in 7th and Joseph McWhorter in 8th. Brandon.
Starting in 9th is Matthew Wilson back. 10th is going to be Brandon Stokes. Ricky Fagone starting in 11th. 12th is going to be Bradley Cooper. Starting 13th is Phil Gary. 14th is Brooke Potts. Starting 15th is Patrick Howard. Robert Victory starting 16th. And rounding out the field in 17th is Chris Sadenfad.
Yep, so that is the starting lineup here from the Auto Club Speedway. As you can obviously tell, we are under the lights here tonight. Weather conditions these guys will be experiencing: 78 degrees in the air, 78 degrees on the track, 2-mile-an-hour winds, standard iRacing conditions in the format that these drivers use in the series. 100% fuel load. They do have one backup truck, fixed setups, and of course, the Rivalry Racing League, their special feature is the college football theme, and you can see here on the windows, on the windscreens here up top, you can see the banners for all of the chase drivers.
Yeah, these guys are getting stacked up, doubled up, ready to go green flag racing here from Auto Club. Under the lights here tonight, and expecting a good show. These guys stacked up behind the iRacing official pace car. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight to the first round of the chase here for the Rivalry Racing League. 10 drivers fighting for a championship. It all starts here tonight from the Auto Club Speedway. The number 10 machine of Tim Rossetto on pole. Weishart starting right next to him. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your front row. Pace car is going to be making its way down into pit lane this time. The 10 machine will get this field underway here tonight. Pace car pulls down into pit lane, waiting for Tim Rossetto to get on the throttle. Green flag is in the air. We're underway for the first time tonight at Auto Club.
Pretty even start from both lanes there as everyone is getting themselves up to speed here going into corner number 1. It does look like the 10 has the clear-cut advantage, though, entering 1 with the push from Bryant Ward.
Heading down into turn number 1 now to the 44 machine of Ward, still right on the back bumper of that 10 machine.
Yes, he is. He does have that push, and the 21 has fallen behind both of them. Garrett Grant to the inside, Travis McDaniel to his outside. Here they are into turn 1 battle for the lead.
Almost 3 wide, almost 4 wide, heading down into turn number 3 that last time by. These guys get pretty much singled out now. Down to 10 machine drifts up the racetrack. 44 gets by for the lead.
Everyone scattering all across the front straightaway here, going for these positions while everyone is in a pack right now. 44 leads lap number 1. Bryant Ward does. Here they are, battle for second.
Yeah, David Weishart and Tim Rossetto side by side. Weishart looking down on the bottom. Those guys aren't going to be able to run that line all race, especially as tires start to wear down. Now the 10 machine has momentum, but back bumper to David Weishart. The draft may be coming into effect here.
Yes, it is. Everyone is now single file, and you can see the difference of lines here. Weishart right on the white line. Ward maybe about a foot or so above it. That gave the 21 the advantage. Might have an opportunity down the front straightaway.
David Weishart right on the back bumper of that 44 machine. That's Ward so far in the lead. Led 2 laps so far now. Here comes David Weishart. Tim Rossetto drifting up the racetrack once again. He's got company from the 2 machine at Travis McDaniel.
McDaniel is going for the 3rd spot, but we may have a battle for the lead. Actually, 21 did fall back into line for the battle for 2nd. 3rd. McDaniel to the inside, Rossetto to the outside, Garrett Grant and the 23 of Michael Tibet's right behind this battle.
David Weishart looking for the lead right on the back bumper of the 44 machine of Ward. Now heading down the front straightaway, giving him almost looked like he was giving him a little bit of a push there. Down the front straightaway, Weishart looking low, maybe not that time by, heading down into 1.
Nearly they were 3 wide for the 2nd position. Still the 2 on the inside of McDaniel will clear up. But here comes the 42 with a crossover move down the back straightaway. He takes a look to the inside.
Now down the back straightaway, Travis McDaniel up on the high side, trying to hold on to that position. Now here comes the 10 machine, looking to fight back underneath the 42 machine. Not going to happen that time by Garrett Grant on the low side, McDaniel on the high side, Rossetto right behind them. 3 cars, 4 cars, 5 cars under a blanket for the 2nd position.
Rossetto was the pole sitter, did not even lead 1 lap around the speedway, back to 5th, and the potential to go further back to that as he is in the middle of the bee's nest right here. 32 machine, Joseph McOrder in the chase as well. Taking a look to the inside, almost 4 wide. Here we go. The 11 is turned.
The wrecking. Stokes is around, and I believe Weishart may have gotten the lead.
So caution, first
maybe
one
not.
of the night, and that is coming from the 11 of Brandon Stokes going around. We'll go back here on PTR TV replay and try to see what happened to Brandon. You can see entering corner number 1, Walzenbeck with a power move to the inside, but actually, yeah, the 29 was there, and I just don't know if the 11 thought he was still going to be there, or if they just kind of deemed that one a racing incident. I do agree.
So I do stand corrected. Weishart was right next to Ward when the caution came out. Bryant Ward will come away with that under yellow with the lead. Weishart is in the 2nd position. 3rd is Garrett Grant. McDaniel in 4th, and 5th is, I believe, Tim Rossetto.
Yeah, so we are 6 laps into the 100 on the score sheet for tonight's race. And you can see, Brandon, it looks like these trucks seem to be very pack racy tonight. So these guys while they have the opportunity to make all these moves, they may have to remember that this is a long race and you don't want to use that backup truck too early.
Yeah, 200 miles around the Auto Club Speedway, and a long race indeed. Only 6 laps into this thing right now, so, you know, these guys, they do have quite a ways to go. I do see a lot of guys coming up pit road as expected.
Yep, tires here at Auto Club are extremely vital, but I believe I see one person choosing to stay on the speedway. That's Ricky Fagone in the 20. Ricky Fagone is in the playoffs. He is in the chase, whichever we are deeming to call it. So every point is vital, and I do believe he got scored as the leader that time by, so that will be a bonus point for him.
Yeah, that may have just been the end of the goal right there for Ricky Fagone.
And I did just see there, and I want to give him a shout out because we appreciate that if you look on the inside of his spoiler there, he has PTR TV there. So what do you know?
Oh, look at that.
Thumbs up and a pat on the back to the number 20 machine. So we're getting some facts for the Auto Club Speedway. Of course, a 2-mile facility with 14 degrees of banking in the turns here today in Fontana, California. And something also about this track, it has never been repaved. It has been in its initial configuration since 1997 when it was created, which is why it is one of the most abrasive and bumpy tracks that these guys will come to.
Yeah, absolutely. So, old pavement, you know, it is some pretty good racing here, though. Honestly, I'd hate to see the day that this track gets repaved.
Back in the day, I mean, before this track kind of became how it is now, I mean, this track, it's kind of one of the most favorited ones to go to these days in the real world at the very least, but there was a phase where this was one of the worst races to see, and they actually were talking about making this a restrictor plate track and up in the banking in the corners, but that never happened, and it'd be kind of interesting to see how that would race, but who knows? They like to refigure every track these days, so who knows what they're going to do when this track does have its final day in this configuration. But banter aside, lights are out on the pace car, so within 1 lap, this race will be back underway.
Yeah, and Ricky Fagone choosing to stay out on the racetrack. I think things are just so close right now, Corey. Track position is going to be vital.
It is, and I mean, they didn't run too many laps, so I think there definitely is going to be fall off and a little bit of handling loss. But if he plays his cards right, he may be able to stay at least in the top 10, so I'm sure that'll be the goal he will be going for. And didn't get to do it earlier, but want to make sure we give a shout out to our camera specialist, Cameras Tonight by TrackCams 4 Gourmets. Check his work out, trackcams22.com or facebook.com/trackcams.
So, these guys once again stacked up, doubled up, ready to go green flag racing. 2 chase drivers. Actually, 4 or 5 chase drivers in the top 5 right now. So, should be very interesting here on this restart. We know how close things will get, and it should be interesting with one driver still out on the original tires from the initial green, and now green flag back in the air. We're back underway from Auto Club.
Obviously no problem getting on the loud pedal for Fagone, so he will get the advantage in the line he wants to run entering corner number 1, but they will be going at it for second. Grant to the top and Ward to the bottom. McDaniel trying to pick to decide where to go.
Heading down on a turn number 2 now. Now Ward is still leading them, but battle for third is still on. Now down the back straightaway. Almost a little bit of contact between a 42 and a 2 that last time by, but now heading down into turn number 3. Those guys single out.
42 kind of running a lane up. That's going to open the door for McDaniel to gain some time. That's going to give him actually some momentum off of the corner. He's going to try to take a look to the outside of Ward down the front straightaway.
He had nowhere to go, had to let off the gas just a little bit there on exit. I thought that was going to give the advantage to McDaniel, but now Fagone slides up the racetrack. Ward looking for the lead once again, and here comes Grant.
Grant in the 42 also clears for going up on the, who is all the way to the top of the track. Those old tires obviously starting to give away already. But the 44 back to P1. Grant in hot pursuit in second.
Heading down through turns 3 and 4, now down out of turn number 4, the 42 machine looking underneath that 44, not gonna make it happen that time by, but here comes McDaniel looking for P2.
McDaniel trying to take a look out of the 42, who was looking to the outside of the 44, but they all managed to get back into line. Entering corner number 1, nearly some contact between the 42 and the 44. Look how close they are.
Now down out of turn number 2, heading down the back straightaway to 42, looks down low, not going to be able to get there, trying to look low, now maybe going to look high on entrance, 44 blocks that, now heading down into turn number 3, nearly some contacts, not going to be able to get it that time by.
Now, the 42 is absolutely going for it, trying to get that lap led. We know every point is valuable, especially where he has 3 points of a detriment to the guys at the top of the playoff score chart. But here we go, up taking lap number 11, kind of going all over the front straightaway, trying to find the momentum.
Down into turn number 1, the 42 drifts back off the back bumper to 44 just a little bit. McDaniel kind of slid back away from that top 2. Now here comes the 42 machine looking out low to 44, still not going to be able to make it happen. He's got to find some draft, now looking down low, side by side, down into turn number 3.
Which line will prevail? The 42 drives it on in. It looks like he's starting to wash up the track just a little bit. The 44 is going to have issue trying to hold off on the outside groove, and here they are fanning out down the front straightaway.
3 wide down the front straightaway for second.
Nearly 4 wide for a split second there, but as we come into corner number 1, McGorder and McDaniel takes for the block as he goes to the inside of Grant, trying to go 3 wide for the lead.
Put that number 2 machine, I almost tried to say machine and car at the same time there. Put that number 2 machine to P2, but here comes the 32 of McWhorter.
Remember, Joseph McWhorter got his win at Iowa, his first ever win in the league. He's going to take a dive to the inside of Ward. He's going to push him up the track.
Racetrack.
Now, Ward is up the track. Now, Rosano, remember the pole sitter, he now has Weishart. They're going to nearly go 3 wide off of 4 down the front straightaway.
A lot of 3 wide racing we've seen so far tonight. These guys still looking under a blanket, but now here comes for the lead. Travis McDaniel looking underneath for the 42. The 42 tries to go down the racetrack, tries to pitch him down there, not going to work. New leader, number 2. But here comes the crossover.
Yes, it is. He got the run off of the straightaway there, down off of corner number 2. He'll take a look to the inside, down the back straightaway. He doesn't quite have the position. He's going to have to sail it on in there, or McDaniel might be able to hold off.
Now down at turn number 4. The 42 machine's down the low side to number 2, Travis McDaniel. Still up top, we got a car on the wall back there. Still gonna keep it clean and green. 32 of McWhorter looking on the back bumper to 42 now maybe looking for a gap.
Yeah, McWhorter, where is he gonna go? He's waiting to see which line is gonna prevail, and at the moment, it's neither of them. You can see how tight the 2 is pinching him off of corner number 2. That's giving him that edge and allowing him to stay side by side.
Now down the back straightaway, heading down into turn number 3. McDaniel claims that lead for good, at least for right now. These guys starting to single out, but now the battle for third may be on the 44.
The 32 slid in front of the 44 with not even a paper's width of clearance there, and I think the 44 may have cut him a break as early as it is in the race, but regardless, the 32 is up to P3. 68 of Phil Gary trying to get in the battle here, trying to get into the top 5. He is underneath the number 10 machine. Again, Roseno was on the pole, and maybe he may have had the hot lap pace, but he is not seeming to be able to hang with these guys under race conditions now, and he has Weishart right to the back bumper of him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys still fighting. A couple of trucks into the wall, in trouble. Back there, David Weishart and Tim Roseno. Tim Roseno went up into the outside wall. Weishart had nowhere to go. I thought that was going to turn the 10 machine, but those guys keep it straight.
Now Weishart getting into the 6th position, being able to get by the 10 after that little bit of wall contact there off of corner number 2, I believe it was. But it doesn't seem, Brandon. I know Weishart started a little bit in the back in the pack there on that last restart, but he hasn't made too much progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Weishart, you know, that's what I'm saying. You know, with track position and everything, he's back to 7th when he was fighting for the lead. And look at Tim Rossetto, the pole sitter, back to 8th right now.
Yeah, not the run he needs, and that wasn't the 46, it was the 41 rather of Ched Martin. Scraped the turn 4 safer barrier on corner exit, but some minor damage, but he is running by himself, focusing a little bit further in the pack. Robert Victory in the 7, lost a position to Michael Tibbetts in the 23. Now Matthew Walzenbeck, who is in the chase as well, takes a look under Victory. All these drivers are in the chase, minus Tibbetts.
Yeah, these guys trying to fight it out. Welsenbach drifts up the racetrack just a little bit. The 29 machine, he'll clear Robert Victory for position, but now here comes Victory with a crossover.
You'd think we were at a 200-mile-an-hour version of Eldora with all these slide jobs and crossovers. It seems to be the tactic these guys are using, and Victory will take that to his advantage and re-clear the 29.
So Welsenbach moves back to that position once again. These guys pretty much single file for the most part, Corey.
Yeah, but up front, I mean, they're single file, but they are single file with very little in between each driver. Weishart is in 6th right now. He is trying to go to the outside of Phil Gary. That move didn't really have any effect, but you could see the leaders snaking all around the front straightaway trying to break the draft.
Joseph McWhorter looking underneath Garrett Grant now. Heading down into turn number 1. The 32 machine dives down underneath that 42. Here comes the 44 of Brian Ward as well. This is for the 2nd position.
This is exactly what the 2 machine wants, because any battling going on is going to slow them down and allow him to maybe get further enough ahead that there is no draft to keep him kind of in touch with these guys. 32 dives it on into corner number 3. Doesn't quite nail the bottom of the track. That'll slow him down and maybe open up the door for the 44 to get some momentum.
Now heading down the front straightaway, the 42 machine manages to clear and hold on to that position. But here comes the 44 of Brian Ward up to the outside of that 32 machine. The 32 runs a higher line corner entry, kind of forces the 44 up. He'll clear the 44 now. Now maybe trying to look on the 42 once again.
Brandon, we are about 15 laps into this run, so this is probably the point in the race where even with the conditions we do have, I would have to imagine these trucks may be getting a little bit more difficult to handle.
Yeah, these guys trying to hold on to the race car, trying to, you know, hold on to the back end, and that right rear is starting to go away on these guys. I'm sure it's going to make it a little bit loose for these guys and a little bit more to their liking.
Yeah, you can't really pass or do too many evasive maneuvers or aggressive moves with a tight car, but if you can hang on to a looser car slash truck, then you will be more able to make those aggressive moves, as the 32 just can't seem to keep the momentum built up to clear that pass at the bottom, so Grant stays in position number 2.
Now, Corey, when would you expect some of these guys to pit?
Well, we already saw that pit stop on lap number 7, I believe it was. And I'm expecting maybe about 42 laps, 40 to 45-ish for fuel, I'm going to guess. So there's going to be 3 stops. You're not going to be able to do this. I'm sorry, there's going to be 2 stops. See, look at what you do when you make me think. This doesn't ever work. Either way, I think there's going to be 2 pit stops if this race does go green, so I would say go coming around lap 40 and then maybe lap 70. That's probably what I would do in this situation. But it all is dependent on what everybody else does, because right now we have already slowed the pace down about 1.2 seconds from what these guys were running on fresh tires. So just remember how much of that time you will lose if you stay out while everybody else has already pitted.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe about another 20 laps or so before these guys head down into pit lane.
We'll see what strategy everyone is going to try to utilize here tonight. But up front, McDaniel has a what is now 4/10 of a second lead over Garrett Grant, who is in the second position, and still third position of McOrder, fourth position Bryant Ward, fifth of Phil Gary, and sixth of David Weishart. That is your second, well, I guess that is the lead pack, if you will. Not used to saying that on a track that's not a plate track, but that is the lead pack. And then we will go back to the pole sitter, Tim Roseno, in seventh in his own little bubble. Also is Robert Victory in eighth in his own little world. Matthew Walzenbeck kind of running by himself. Brandon Stokes in 10th. Remember, he was part of the first caution. And we have a side-by-side battle. We have Bradley Cooper and Ched Martin. That was 11th and 12th, but give it to the 5 machine. Chris Seidenfaden in 13th. Brooks Potts in 14th. Ricky Fagone in the pits right now. Remember, he stayed out, so we'll see what this does. And then Michael Tibetz and Patrick Howard, 16th and 17th, both off the lead lap. That is your quarter race rundown, presented by nobody.
I guess if you'd like to sponsor that.
If you would like to sponsor the quarter race, whatever it's called, then email us, primetimeracing@gmail.com.
Or visit us through our website at primetimeracing.tv.
There you go. But here comes Weishart getting himself back into the top 5. Passing Phil Gary, so that is the 21 moving his way back through the field. He can see the leader, but he can also see Phil Gary going with a crossover. I'm pretty sure I saw some sparks flaring off corner number 4.
Joseph McWhorter off the pace. Looks like he made some pretty good contact with the outside wall.
And we'll see if we can go and catch that contact on the replay. Go on board with him. See here, he is running behind the 42, and yeah, he just needed to breathe the throttle a little bit just to get that truck to turn, but he stayed into it to try to keep the momentum, and you can see how that worked out for him.
The battle for fourth is on. Phil Gary against David Weishart. Weishart gonna hold off to that for right now, but Phil Gary right on his tail.
Yeah, these guys seem to be crossing over at every opportunity. Once you pass, you can kind of just get that run and go to the inside on the following straightaway. But here comes Gary trying to look to the top, and he will try to sail it in on the inside of corner number 1. Nearly some contact.
Almost some contact between those two drivers. The 68 Phil Gary trying to get around David Weishart. Almost a little bit of contact, back bumper.
Yeah, battle mere inches there, but it looks like Weishart will be able to pull away into some relative comfort right now. Battle for second is still, it's not an active battle, but it is a battle just waiting to happen once the 44 can just shave a little bit more off of that deficit. Here he comes to the top, maybe trying to get that draft off the 42 of Grant. Here he looks to the outside, entering corner number 1, but the 42 goes up to take that line away.
Yeah, the 44, maybe he's going to try to look for a way around the 42 once again. He lost a little bit of momentum after the 42 kind of took that line away, but now going to try to come back with a little bit of help from the draft. Going to try to suck right up to him, and heading down into turn number 3, maybe he'll have a shot on exit.
Yeah, if he can do it right, it looks like they ran identical lines there, so there shouldn't be too much of a momentum variance in between those drivers. If anything, 42 actually got ahead of steam off the corner, but Phil Gary is not done battling with that 21 truck.
No, heading down the front straightaway, side by side for that 4th position. Weishart held on to that 4th position that time by, but now heading down into turn number 1, a 68 machine will clear for the 4th position.
Yes, he will, and not very often do you see that 21 truck pass, but kind of tonight, it's kind of almost like a no-holds-barred tonight. Anyone can kind of, as long as you can save those tires and you know how to work the draft. Seems like we are seeing some guys up front who aren't in the top 5 as often, so that has given that 21 truck a lot more challenge than he's used to.
Here comes Weishart once again underneath that 68 machine, side by side down the front straightaway. Maybe gonna try to take that 4th position back. Now heading down into turn number 1 underneath the 68 of Phil Gary. Weishart will clear once again for the fourth
And
position.
the
Here
crossover.
comes the crossover. Loose, really loose was a 68 out of turn number 2.
He was loose, but he had the momentum. That's all that matters. He's to the door of the number 21 truck. He should sail it on in there in a corner number 3, but the 21 sails it in on the top groove. They're going to meet here. Almost some contact through the center of the corner. 21 trying to pinch him, take that 68 momentum's down. Wiggle from the 21.
Weishart got really loose down off of turn number 4 that time. That leaves the gap 4 to 68.
And in front of this, battle for second. 44 to the inside. 44 to the inside.
Boy.
Grant to the outside.
Almost some contact. If there wasn't contact, that was really close. The 42 trying to pinch the 44 down. Oh, here comes Ricky Fagone into the picture back there now.
Remember,
he pit.
Yeah, he pitted. He's on these fresh tires trying to get himself back onto the lead lap and see how this will cycle out. Remember, we've seen some varying pit strategy in a couple races. Seems as though that is going to be the case again tonight.
Remember, Ricky Fagone didn't pit on that first round of pit stops under the yellow flag, so he had a little bit older tires, about 4 laps older tires. And he's working on getting, oh boy, the 42 machine cuts his nose off. Ricky Fagone trying to get around, maybe gonna take it 3 wide.
Yep.
Those guys single out, but here comes Ricky Fagone into the picture. A little bit of a close call there.
Yeah, that is definitely a good thing those drivers were on their games to be able to avoid any kind of issue. But here comes the 20 machine with that dive to the inside on those fresher tires. Clears the 42 with ease. He will go 2 for 1 and take the position. Will take the spot rather. It's not a position per se, but he will pass Bryant Ward and try to get himself on the lead lap once he can get to McDaniel.
3 cars under a blanket back here for the 3rd position. Now here comes the 68. Looking underneath.
Smoker down the straightaway. Smoker down the back straightaway. That's Brooks Potts in the 50. Not sure what happened to him, but he is spun to the inside grass. I do think he will get off the track before. Yes, he will, so no caution.
Oh boy.
But the 50 will be most likely out of the race unless he has a backup truck.
Yeah, so unfortunate for Brooks Potts.
We may have it on replay here. See if we can find it while we have the moment to... Yep, there it is off of corner number 4. He got loose off of 4 trying to pit and then recorrected and hard into the front straightaway wall was the number 50. And I think he is having to tow there, but maybe he will have a backup truck to get back into the race. But back to the leaders.
Pit stops, Corey. Here comes Weishart and Grant.
Yes, that is the 2 of the top 5 drivers heading to the pits. Somebody further back in the pack also coming into the pit road. So we will see how long that keeps the number 2 truck on the speedway.
And Brooks Potts has taken his truck behind the pit wall. He is done for the night.
I'm calling it quits after that incident. Unfortunate. So that is the first attrition of the night in that form of the number 50. But coming through 3 and 4. Let's see if that number 2 breaks down and heads to the pits. And there he comes.
Travis McDaniel pitting out of the lead now. And
somebody
here comes
missed someone on the speedway.
the 89. I can't believe that didn't bring out a caution.
He did get off the speedway before a caution came up because that would have most likely caused one.
That was Patrick Howard.
But
Travis McDaniel and Brian Ward in pit lane right now.
Yeah, pit road is a busy place now. About 5 or 6 drivers are populating it right now. So we will see what difference this makes, the 2 pitting that lap later in relation to Weishart and company. That may have a lead change. 44 missed his box, had to back up just a couple inches.
Right now, it is Phil Gary out in the lead, and it looks like he's coming to pit road this time.
Yep, so that will give the lead to Bradley Cooper. Actually, no, it won't, because here he comes. And Shed Martin would be next in line, and he's coming down pit road, so But Ricky Fagone, remember how much earlier he pitted? He pitted 12 laps before because of him pitting on that first and only caution flag. He is in the lead now coming into turn number 3, but you can see David Weishart about half a straightaway behind him. And we'll see how it shakes out in relation to Weishart and McDaniel. Weishart actually got the edge there and was able to get ahead of Travis McDaniel on the pit road sequence.
Yeah, it is really amazing how that works out. So Weishart pitted a lap ahead of McDaniel, and now Weishart ends up with the lead. Or ahead of McDaniel anyways.
Alright, so now that pit stops have concluded and things have kind of settled out a little bit, we're going to break away to our first commercial break of the race. So stay with us. We'll be right back with you guys.
This presentation of the Rivalry Racing League on PTR TV is brought to you by Movement Fabrications, the ventilation service to trust. Also, Krutz Custom Graphics, we've got your back. Also, iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics, and Track Camps for Gourmet. So back here with the Rivalry Racing Group, or the Rivalry Racing League. Right now, it's David Weishart with the lead.
Yeah, Ricky Fagone in the 20. Remember, he pitted a lot earlier as he's kind of on a alternate strategy. Just got past. Weishart was able to get around the 2 machine before pit stops, or actually after pit stops. 2 has managed to get back to his bumper to see if he can get that position back.
Travis McDaniel trying to hunt him down right now. He really wants that lead back, and I'm sure a win would really help him going through the chase here. Both of these drivers that are fighting for the lead are in the chase. David Weinzard and Travis McDaniel. Two of the most winningest drivers this season.
Yep, they have each shared, I believe, 3 wins apiece this season. So we will see as this race is approaching the halfway point. This is the guys who will most likely be the championship favorites, and here they are duking for the win here in round 1 of the playoffs.
You can see Travis McDaniel inching closer and closer to the back bumper of Weinzard.
Bring up the battle tracker, and last time by, McDaniel had the advantage by 13 1/thousandths of a second, which could be attributed to the draft or just minor mistakes. Really hard to tell as close as they are. And also, it makes you wonder, is Weinzard pushing 100%? Are they saving any kind of tires? And what will their strategy be? Still a lot of variables that we have to find out here in 54 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. Still a lot of time left in this race. Just over 100 miles left. Travis McDaniel right to the back bumper of Weinzard now. Heading down out of turn number 2. Heading down the back straightaway, the 2 machine. Now heading down into turn number 3. Weinzard's looking in his mirror with the number 2 machine right there.
Off of corner number 4, 21 pulls him by about a truck length, so that will give him a little bit more of an edge, but with a slight draft here down the front straightaway, the 2 is able to eat into that gap by a couple inches, and let's see if he can keep that momentum through 1 and 2. Does not seem to be the case.
Now heading down out of turn number 2 now. Here comes that 2 machine. It just seems like it's so hard to pass when you're behind somebody like that, Corey.
Yeah, you're really just waiting for a mistake, or you're just maybe just waiting to get that extra momentum off of the corner, maybe allowing you to pull out side by side on the straightaway, but they are so even right now that it really makes it difficult. And in 3rd position, Bryant Ward is about 3.5 seconds behind this. Garrett Grant behind him, and then Ricky Fagone back to the 5th position on those aging tires.
Yeah, so what we got to remember about Fagone also is he pitted, still a lot earlier than everybody else, so he's still on older tires.
Yeah, he is on tires, as we will pull up our graphics so you guys can see exactly what the status right now is. He has been on the speedway for 23 laps since his last stop. Everybody else has been on 11 or 12 lap runs, so that will explain the differences. Here they are going for the lead.
Battle for the lead, yeah. McDaniel looking high, looking low, looking high again. Still not quite able to get around him. Weinzard trying to fend off for the lead. 21 machine out in front, the 2 machine of McDaniel behind him. Now down at turn number 2, down the back straightaway. McDaniel lost a little bit of momentum through 1 and 2.
Yes, he did. He was all over the back of them. They were bobbing and weaving down the front straightaway, but now Weinzard has gotten a 2 truck length advantage. The 2 of McDaniel will have to eat back into that gap as the halfway lap has begun now. We are on lap number 50.
Halfway will be displayed next time by...
Yeah, that was close enough.
Close enough. You tried.
See, I'm not the flag man. I don't know the exact technicalities behind this stuff. I just know the 50 is half of 100. But
you tried.
I tried.
A for effort. So McDaniel trying to cut back into that ton that he lost when he lost his momentum against Weinzard. Now, coming off of turn 4 this time, cross flags will be displayed
nearly
halfway
in
down.
the fence was the 21.
Keeps it off halfway down,
but he lost momentum.
Oh boy!
He lost momentum. The 2 had it, and they were blocking all the way down there. He blocked the run to the top that the 2 was looking for, and we have a caution flag.
Caution on the speedway.
Tim Roseno. Oh my God! What
Upside down is that 89 machine?
Someone just came out of orbit right there. That was the 89 machine.
Oh, the 10. The 10 got loose. Huge contact. The 10 got loose, came back up across the racetrack into that 89, and big impact.
Yeah, Houston, we have a problem. Oh my God! And who was that? Was that Matthew Walzenbeck that drove underneath somebody? We have to go on board with that. On board with Walzenbeck here, you could see that contact happen, and oh my goodness, that is not a sight you see every day.
5 of Bradley Cooper as well. Wow.
So this is 48 laps to go, and this will give us a, presumably, a pit stop for everybody. And I don't know what exactly the fuel window is, but I have to imagine this is going to be a very tight call. I
don't think they'd be able to make it.
I mean,
from here.
We will go back green probably with 43 to go, and based on what I vaguely remember, that is going to be really close.
Save.
There, the clutch is your friend under yellow flag conditions, and here they all come to the attention of their pit crews right now, led by that number 21 machine.
Heck, if we don't get another yellow and these guys decide to stay out in the clutch coming down to the end of this thing, maybe your friend under green.
That is also very true. You always have to have that ignition switch as well mapped to your sim rigs as well, as it has a lot of positive effect if you don't utilize it incorrectly, which I have done that a couple times. But everyone, oh, the 2 and the 42, both.
Wow.
McDaniel's completely botched his pit entry there. He's going to go probably to last. Yeah, it took him forever to get into his stall, but the 44 gets out of pit lane first.
Wow, somehow snuck away with that lead. Coming out of pit lane, so that will push Weishart back to the second position. Travis McDaniel, lots and lots of trouble on his pit stop.
Yeah, that is not what you want here. Now, something we don't do too often on the channel, and people have asked us why we don't. So, you know what? Heck, we're going to do it. So, let's bring a driver up into the booth here tonight and see how his race is going. We're going to bring up Bryant Ward in the 44 machine, get his take on the race here tonight. All right, Bryant Ward, PTR TV, you got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
All right, so it's been a pretty hectic race here. We've seen a lot of exciting racing, some crossovers, then we've seen it spread out a little bit. Looks like the trucks may have been going away for some of you guys, but just talk about what it's like for you tonight and what kind of challenges you're facing.
Well, my problem is those boys up front, they're fast. I beat them on pit road there, but I think they had some issues, and right now I'm in fuel-saving mode, trying to maybe get enough gas to make it to the end here, because it's going to be really close, it looks like. So maybe a couple laps short, but I think holding those guys behind me, Travis and David, they're pretty fast here. We practiced earlier this week, and pretty tough crowd.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the booth. We thought it was maybe about 40 to 42 laps approximately you guys could probably go, and you're going to have to stretch it a couple more than that. So do you kind of have your backup plan, or do you think you're going to go for broke and see if you can make it happen?
Well, I'm in the fuel saving mode, shutting it off right now, so we'll see what happens. I don't know. We're going to see when we go back to green here. It looks like it's going to be about 55, 56, so boy, it's going to be really close here. Maybe another caution, and I think everybody'd pit anyway, so I don't know. It's going to be close.
All right, man, so we'll be following you and hoping for the best for you. Good luck, and thanks for chatting with us.
Thank you much.
All right, so that is the take from the 44 machine tonight. So he is currently the leader. As he said, he beat out David Weishart out of pit lane last time by, and he's led a couple laps tonight. Let's see if he can hang on there, but let's see what the pace is going to be, Brandon. It was, as he said, in fuel save mode. What kind of pace? Do you think these guys are going to be single file and maybe running some slower lap times?
It's hard to say. This is where things get really tough for these drivers. And you want to fight for position, and you have to fight for position, but at some point, if you're going to try to save to the end, you got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, you have to set the tone right now, what you're going to do. You can't decide with 10 laps to go in the race when you're 2 laps short. You can't decide, okay, I'm going to fuel save now. If you're going to try to maximize 2 or 3 laps, you have to decide right now and go from the get-go. But at the same time, you have to think, what's the alternate strategy? The alternate strategy is pitting, say, on about lap 80 and just go for broke there. Just go as hard as you can, pit and go as hard as you can. That's going to be the alternate strategy, and it's going to be who is going to do that and who's going to fuel save. Travis McDaniel, also worth noting, starting in the 8th position after that pit stop.
So these guys stacked up, doubled up, ready to go back. Green flag racing here behind the iRacing official pace car.
Bryant Ward to the inside. Travis, I'm so used to saying that. Bryant Ward to the inside and David Weishart to the outside. That is your front row for this restart. Brandon Stokes and Phil Gary in positions number 3 and 4 in row number 2. We await for the pace car to take the left-hand turn into the pit lane. It does that right now. Waiting for the 40-40 to get on the loud pedal, and there it is. We're back racing at Auto Club.
The 44 got a really good jump there off the restart, Corey. And now Brandon Stokes, where'd he come from? He was all the way back in the back before that yellow came out, and now he's up there fighting for second.
Yes, he did. That backup truck is tuned up pretty well for that number 11. He's going to clear the number 21 machine off of corner number 2 just by inches, but does clear and see if he can get the push and close in on the 44.
Weishart gonna look down at the inside, side by side, heading down into turn number 3. Stokes maybe gonna try to push him down the racetrack just a little bit. Weishart gonna run that bottom line now. Now heading down out of turn number 4. Weishart will clear for second. The battle for 4th is on.
Doesn't look like these guys are saving fuel right now, I'll tell you. 32 in the 68 side by side. That is for the 4th position. Quick order to the outside. Phil Gary to the inside. Gary will sail it on in there into corner number 1. And he will nearly come up into the groove of the 32, but 32 is fighting hard on that outside groove.
Looks like the 32 machine used his backup truck here after that hard impact of the outside wall, but now up there fighting for the 4th position. Phil Gary on the inside of the 68, the 32 still sitting there on the outside. McWhorter looking to get that 4th position away.
There he is with the crossover yet again. I wish we had a crossover counter today because it would probably be off the hook broken with how many we've seen. The 32 to the inside, trying to make do with that crossover move. See if he can sail it on in there to corner number 1.
Look at the battle behind them too, Corey. Cars all over the place back there as McDaniel trying to make his way back up to the field. McWhorter will clear for the 4th position, but here comes the 42, the 2, the 5, and the 20 now side by side for position.
Yes, everyone is in a pack right now, and I think it is pretty certain that most of these guys, I think, are going for the single stop strategy in the middle of this run to split it up, because everyone is going extremely aggressively, and especially up front, Weishart going for the lead.
David Weishart looking underneath the 44 machine now. Heading down into turn number 1. That 21's gonna clear for the lead. Maybe gonna drop it a crossover to that 44 machine. Now down off of turn. No!
Oh, contact!
Contact between the 44 and the 21.
Down the back straightaway they come. Contact from the 44.
Brandon Stokes.
3 trucks separated by 3 feet here, entering corner number 3.
3 trucks under a blanket. I don't know how Weishart saved it, but now 3 wide for the lead.
Down the front straightaway, a look to the inside for the 11. Thinks better of it. Gets back in the line behind the 21 machine. The 21 and the 44, both side by side, entering corner number 1. Who's going to prevail?
Heading down to turn number 1 now. Down the 21. up on the high side, 44 on the inside, now down off of turn number 2. The 21 has a little bit of momentum up there from the high side of 44, trying to hang on. Brian Ford
into the wall, the 21.
Start at the outside wall. He's stuck on the outside wall.
He got...
No!
He got into the safer barrier, I believe, as it juts out, entering turn number 3. Going to go on board here with David. Nope. Yep, that's exactly what it was. He just running too high, trying to get the arc into corner number 3. The safer barrier got to him, and back to 11th is that number 21.
From position 1 to position 11,
but
that's
look
how
at
fast
front.
it happens.
Look at these guys up front within inches of each other.
Oh my, McWhorter practically pushing Stokes down the back straightaway now. Looking down low, Stokes goes to block, almost a little bit of contact. Side by side for the lead.
Here comes the 11 to the inside, Stokes to the inside, and look at this behind him, McWhorter, Gary, McDaniel, top 5, all within a 10th of a second. Gary!
3 wide back there.
Phil Gary nearly blocked into the wall, trying to get to the outside of the 32. McDaniel to the inside of him, entering corner number 1.
Now down to the turn number 1, the 44 still on the lead. Brandon Stokes holding on a second. Here comes McWhorter, maybe to look at the outside. 32, it's going to be 5 drugs under a blanket, 6 drugs under a blanket. Battle for the lead, almost 3 wide for the lead. McWhorter has nowhere to go, heading down to turn number 3.
Stokes sails it on in there into corner number 3, trying to clear him in one shot. That's definitely going to be a crossover. The 44 not able to do so because he has the 32 underneath him. Nearly some contact. Here comes McDaniel to the inside.
3 wide for the second position. Now here comes the 44, maybe trying to fight back for the lead. Travis McDaniel and the 32 of McWhorter trying to find Phil Gary. Nowhere to go now, maybe gonna look underneath. Here comes Phil Gary for that 3rd position. Not gonna be able to get it done. Still fighting for second is the 2 and the 44. Travis McDaniel slides up the racetrack just a little bit. Here comes Phil Gary once again.
He was spun out on the beginning of the race, but now he is the leader. Brandon Stokes has navigated his way by Bryant Ward into the 1st position. Side by side for 3rd, the 68 and the 2. 2 to the top, 68 to the bottom. Side by side, Grant and McWhorter behind that.
68 slides up the racetrack just a little bit and pushes McDaniel up in that 2 machine. Now able to hold on to McDaniel trying to fight back. Side by side down the front straightaway. The 2 machine up on the high side, 68 down low, fighting for that 3rd position.
Gary's going to wash up the track just a little bit, not quite hit the apex, but the 2's not going to give up. He may have the opportunity to slide jump here off corner number 2 if he chooses to do so. He does not. He leaves the door open and McDaniel takes the momentum.
Heading down the back straightaway now, still gonna hold 2 by 2. The 42 trying to catch up to these guys as well back there. That's Garrett Grant. McWhorter had slid back a little bit. He's trying to catch up. Those 2 being side by side. That's allowing all these other drivers to kind of funnel in. Now, McDaniel slides up the racetrack just a little bit. That gives the edge to the 68 machine heading down the front straightaway.
It's allowing those other guys to get up, and it's also allowing to the top 2 to pull away just a little bit. Ward and Stokes by about 3 or 4 truck lengths on this battle for 3rd. But it looks like Gary will finally prevail this time by. But here comes a crossover from the 2. Big surprise, a crossover move. Here he comes.
Not quite able to get it done. Here comes the 42 of Garrett Grant now. These guys are singled out, but a big push down the back straight away from the 2 machine to the 68 machine from now heading down into turn number 3. McDaniel on the low side. Now these guys are kind of switched positions here. McDaniel on the low side, 68 up at the high side. That's Phil Gary. Garrett Grant still kind of looking back there, nowhere to go.
Here they come, still side by side here down the front straightaway.
Oh, contact! Contact down into turn number 1.
Yeah, they doored each other there just a little bit. They're in role reversal now. 68 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Garrett Grant in the 42 behind the 2.
Here
3
comes
wide.
The 42 machine, 3 wide down the back straightaway.
3 wide down the back straightaway. They come into corner number 3. That already fizzles up, but the 42 is underneath the 2 as the 68 has cleared for that position.
The 42 drifts up, contact between him and the 2 machine. The 32 nowhere to go, maybe a little bit of contact there.
Still side by side, and they're side by side behind that as well for the following positions. Everybody is going extremely aggressive. Brandon, we talked about fuel saving. I don't think that is happening at all.
No, I don't think so. These guys more worried about track position right now. I think, you know, if they got to pit one more time, they got to pit one more time. I don't think any of these guys may be expected to save any fuel going into this. So, yeah, I think we're going to see another round of pit stops, but here comes the 42 machine. With all these trucks under a blanket, almost into the wall was that 32 now. Travis McDaniel will clear all of them. Almost a little bit of contact between the 32 and the 42.
Yes, it is, and that's allowing the two to get ahead of these drivers. Finally pulling ahead of this pack. McWhorter to the outside of Garrett Grant by just a little bit. Ricky Fagone finally on even keel to everybody else right behind this battle. Bradley Cooper, haven't talked about him. He's in 8th.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper trying to sneak his way up into this mix as well. Ricky Fagone back there in the 20 machine. Travis McDaniel kind of cleared that group down, trying to play catch up. Here comes the 20 machine, trying to look underneath the 32.
20 machine of Ricky Fagone to the inside of the 32. Actually, now he has Cooper to the outside of him. Bradley Cooper in the 5 trying to hang on there. Robert Victory tail end of the caboose right now, who is running in the 9th position. Here they come off quarter number 4. We are headed down to 31 laps to go.
Man, oh man, the battling here was unexpected, Corey, but now Fagone maybe trying to look underneath the 32. Not going to happen that time by the 42 of Garrett Grant. Maybe trying to look above the 2. Now trying to look down low, roll over the back bumper, down the back straightaway. But the battling here coming into this thing, I didn't expect this type of racing at all.
I knew it was. We saw a race a couple months ago on the channel here for our American Sim Racing series. They had a race at Auto Club, and I knew it was going to be a good race, but these guys have taken up to the next level with this level of racing, so kudos to them. But also worth noting, the 21 of David Weishart, the doctor of David Weishart, I think he may be coming down with a cold. He is in 11th position after that contact with the wall and not able to do anything to close in on these guys.
I'm laughing at that.
I sat there for 5 minutes trying to come up with a better pun than that, but that's all I had.
Oh, boy. You know, I came up with the doctor on the spot, and that sucked. So
I was going to say maybe he needs a house call or something, but that's all we had for tonight. We'll see if something better comes. But again, the side-by-side has not ceased itself. Here comes McWhorter and Grant. This is to get into the top 5 or to stay in the top 5. And they are pulling back to the bumper of Travis McDaniel in the number 2 machine in the 4th position. But we may have a battle for the lead shaping up. Ward is starting to close back on the number 11.
Yeah, these guys still in a close battle until that happens. These guys still in a close battle back here, the 32 and the 42. Now, Ricky Fagone also, or Bradley Cooper looking above Ricky Fagone as well. 4 cars still under a blanket here. Now the 42 will clear the 32. That's Grant and McWhorter.
So this is now 29 coming to 28 laps to go. They've been out there for just about 20 laps in this run. So if these guys are going to split this run in half, then they would be pitting anytime really between lap now and lap 80. So we will see who is the first to maybe try to get the advantage on the fresh tires and see if they can get themselves an advantage that way. But again, here comes Bradley Cooper. Kind of didn't do the heavy-duty battle and these other drivers did. Maybe that was saving some tires as he has gotten by the number 32 machine, but 32 has something to say about that, trying not to go down without a fight. Takes it to the inside in corner number 3. 5 will sail it off on the outside, 32 to the inside, but it does look like the 5 will prevail.
Yeah, he's coming up off the high side of the racetrack now, but not quite going to clear that 32 machine yet. McWhorter trying to play back on the inside.
Yeah, McWhorter to the inside, and he is doing the best he can, but the outside is kind of where you want to be. It allows you to keep more momentum built up, not bogging the truck down so much through the center of the corners, so he should be able to get the run. 32 gets loose there, hook at the white line, so that will most certainly 86 that situation. Here comes Fagone to go to the outside of the 32.
Travis McDaniel and Garrett Grant maybe try to fight for position up here as well. 42 caught back up to that 2 machine now. Maybe going to look to the outside and not quite going to happen that time by. Now looking to the inside is that 42.
Looks to the outside, looks to the inside, looks back to the outside.
Now going to try to take him on the outside.
McDaniel will give him the lane there. kind of a surprise. I expected him to block him to the wall, did not do that. Gave him the lane on the outside. Let's see if he can keep that momentum. McDaniel gets loose on the white line there. That'll seal the deal and move the 42 into third spot.
Oh, here
Fourth
comes
spot.
Bradley Cooper, almost contact with back bumper of Travis McDaniel. Now coming through in that 5 machine, and McDaniel gonna look back on the inside, side by side.
I'll tell you, Bradley Cooper is kind of the quiet horse.
Almost some contact.
Bradley Cooper is the quiet horse in this race as Ricky Fagone comes on the pit lane starting the sequence, but Bradley Cooper hung at the back of this, wasn't doing all the slicing and dicing, maybe kept a little bit more rubber on these tires, and now he's in the top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Bradley Cooper, haven't seen him running this far up front in a while, so good job to him, and he's got his eyes set on the 42 of Garrett Grant.
All this going on about 2 seconds behind the leader. Bryant Ward has managed to stay about a quarter of a second behind Stokes and actually managed to get some advantage there off corner number 4, and he has a head of steam here, and we may have a battle.
Weishart, I just saw Weishart take it 3 wide and trying to gain some position back.
Yep, underneath the 7, underneath the 32, he is now being scored in the 11th position, but he has already, we didn't get to catch it, but Weishart already pitted. He is the first truck 1 lap down, but he has already made what presumably is his final pit stop.
Weishart maybe trying to get a little bit ahead of the game here. Pit earlier, try to gain that track position back from these guys.
Yeah, he needs to do something, because if we don't have a yellow flag, he is not going to be in a very good position. So anything was necessary for that number 21 truck to do, but I'll tell you, Ward has stopped playing nice, and he is going for the lead here late in the run, I do believe. Here he comes with a look to the inside off corner number 2. Nailey's the
contact! Stokes somebody outside wall hard, slams on the brakes in front of Phil Gary. Now, Garrett Grant, Travis McDaniel.
That's the
Joseph McWhorter. Now it was David Weishart involved. Oh no, what just happened? He's still rolling down the racetrack. More trucks involved, the 41.
Oh my.
What just happened? He just slammed on his brakes in front of the field.
We gotta go back here on replay and we'll see what happened piece by piece. The 44 was to the inside. It's kind of hard to tell if the 11 pinched him down or if the 44 came up, but that was the contact. I'm trying to get a better view of this because this was a very large incident and really a race-changing
incident. All of those drivers that were fighting for position
this camera will show
involved.
it really well, I do believe. 44 takes a look to the inside. 11, I think he held a little bit of a tighter line off of 2, but he locked the brakes down and he let off of the brakes to try to get to the inside of the track and out of the way, but when he did that, some drivers were already committed to passing on the inside, and that just really gave them no opportunity.
Garrett Grant, a hard hit, and then into David Weishart. Travis McDaniel barely getting through. Same with Robert Victory, and Joseph McWhorter nowhere to go. More trucks were piling in. The 41 just missed it. He had to lock it down as Stokes was going to the inside.
So I've already seen Grant, McWhorter, Stokes, Weishart. I think, 4 trucks had to use the tow truck last time by, which will take them out of contention completely when they'll be multiple laps down. So that will shrink the field a little bit, and we'll see who can get the race off of pit road. Don't know how much it'll really mean, and we know how passing really is, especially on fresh tires, but we'll see who indeed gets the best of the pit stops. And it
looks like that's 68, Phil Gary.
Phil Gary.
Look at Bradley Cooper up to the 3rd position.
So definitely a race for some new drivers to shine, and we always love seeing that. So we will step away here and catch our breaths after that exciting last run we had to call. So get a drink, get a snack. We're going to do the same. We'll be right back with you. Welcome back to PTR TV after we just saw kind of the Auto Club big one. Well, not big one, but it took out a lot of drivers that were in contention for this win. Some of them, luckily, were able to use their backup trucks, but regardless of that, we're going to take a green flag with 19 laps to go, and Phil Gary is leading this race.
Yeah, Phil Gary out front of this thing right now, but let me tell you what, Corey, he's got company from a lot of fast trucks. Look at Bradley Cooper up here in a podium position right now. But you got Travis McDaniel back there. You got the 44 of Brian Ward to his outside. And you got Robert Victory maybe trying to steal away on top 5 from these guys as well. Look at how many chase drivers are up there right now.
Yes, indeed. And these are the first laps that Gary has led all season here at Auto Club Speedway. But he is on the loud pedal, and we are racing here with 19 laps to go.
A great jump on restart here from Phil Gary, the 44, trying to defend that second position now. Here comes Travis McDaniel.
McDaniel, after that poor pit stop midway in the race, trying to get himself back into position, gets by the 7.
Bradley Cooper
crosses underneath.
McDaniel takes advantage of that. He got a little bit to lose now. McDaniel looking underneath that 5 machine.
Here we come down the back straightaway into corner number 3. McDaniel to the inside of Cooper, who is right behind Bryant Ward. Gary has pulled out by about 3 truck lengths.
These guys trying to get racy. The 5 machine maybe trying to look underneath now, maybe trying to look above that 2 machine. Will he be able to get there? Yup, gets to his outside. No, not quite. The 2 shuts the door on him.
And here comes the 2 trying to take a little bit of a dive into corner number 2 underneath the 44, but that door is shut. Here comes Matthew Walzenbeck in the 5th spot trying to get by Bradley Cooper.
Matthew Walzenbeck in that 29 machine trying to look up there, trying to get into the top 5. Or he is in the top 5, trying to get to that 4th position.
For Walzenbeck in the chase as well, so all these drivers, some of these drivers maybe we didn't expect to be in this position, taking most advantage of it right now. 17 laps to go. Gary's still up front.
Heading down into turn number 1 now. The 44 does seem to be catching that 68 machine just a little bit, but Brian Ward has a little bit of company back there from the 2 machine, growing bigger and bigger in his rearview mirror. That's Travis McDaniel. Maybe going to try to look for the 2nd position here soon. Hasn't been able to do anything with it yet.
Yeah, not quite. And also worth noting, this may be the first DNF of the season for Weishart, and still fixing some significant repairs for that number 21 truck. So this will be a huge hit for him in his championship endeavors to go back to back. But here comes Ward to the top of Phil Gary, entering corner number 1. Pass for the lead underway.
Maybe, just maybe, the 44 machine trying to look underneath that 68. Not going to be able to get it done out of turn number 2. Here comes Travis McDaniel, nowhere to go. Looking high, looking low, looking for a gap. Now, side by side for the lead, heading down into turn number 3.
Where does McDaniel go? McDaniel sails in on the inside behind Ward, giving them the push. Gary's going to go from 1st to 3rd in 1 corner, coming off of corner number 4. Give the lead back to Ward in the 44. McDaniel right behind him in 2nd.
Heading down the front straightaway, Travis McDaniel looking for somewhere to go now. Heading down into turn number 1. Travis McDaniel right out of the back bumper to that 44 to 68. Phil Gary still hanging in there now, side by side for the 4th position. Matthew Welzenbach kind of booted the 5 machine of Cooper out of the way.
Yeah, so that is going to be a, I don't know how well that 5 is going to appreciate that move, but up front, here comes Travis McDaniel taking a peek to the inside. 44 washes up the track. They're going to be door to door off corner number 4.
Side by side, heading down the front straightaway. Travis McDaniel on the low side, a 44 of Brian Ward up high, battling for the race win. 44 did get him that time by Travis McDaniel. Seems to have the advantage on the low side. Now, just trying to ride that white line all the way around. Now, here comes a crossover from Brian Ward. McDaniel tries to block, can't quite do it. Still gonna hold 2 by 2.
Here they come. This is going to, every time that this happens, the tires are wearing a little bit more, and it's going to be a lot more difficult to hold that inside line. You can see the 44 struggling to do so, struggling to stay out of the door of the number 2 machine. 2 nearly into the fence, but they remain side by side for the lead.
And look at the battle for 2nd place is on as well. Welzenbach trying to fight against Phil Gary.
That's still side by side. Here we come entering corner number 1. The 2 does prevail on the outside to take sole position of the lead. And here comes the 29 with a peek to the inside of the 44 for the 2nd spot.
Welzenbach trying to fight against the 44. Welzenbach, we haven't seen him in this position all season. He's trying to fight for the 2nd position.
People coming to the top when they know the playoffs are beginning, taking it to the next level. Are they with their runs? Here comes the 29 door to door. This is going to allow the 2 to pull away, but they're going to be side by side behind them as well.
Heading down the front straightaway, Ward holds on to that 2nd position that time by Welzenbach down on the low side of that 29 machine. McDaniel holds the lead right now. Welzenbach shoving Ward up the racetrack. He'll clear Ward for that 2nd position. Ward maybe going to try to pull the crossover. Not going to happen out of turn number 2 that time by. All over the back bumper is that 44 over the 29.
Oh my goodness, here on the bumper cam, and that's all you can see is a Toyota symbol. The 44 was right up his back bumper, but that has ceased right now. The 29 sole position of the 2nd spot, but they are now a half second behind that number 2 truck.
Phil Gary has fallen all the way back to that 5th position now. Has a little bit of company from that 7 machine. Maybe try to hold off Ricky Fagone and Robert Victory side by side. Robert Victory trying to hold off to that 6th position.
Robert Victory has not been up there as well, but he has managed to stay in this lead pack here at the end. Ricky Fagone, tail end of the caboose. Ched Martin is behind them, about a half second off the tail end of this pack, but it does look like the battle for second is going to be the one of note tonight. I'm not sure if anyone's going to be able to get back to the 2, but they will not stop trying. Here they come, entering corner number 3 and 4.
Travis McDaniel still out front of this thing. Now side by side is the 44 and the 29. 10 laps to go for Moto Club.
This is when you're going to be going for it. There's no fuel mileage. There is nothing to worry about except a checkered flag in 20 miles of racing here for Rivalry Racing. Entering corner number 1 and 2, the 44 will look to the inside. Will the 29 do the classic crossover move? We will see if he can do it off corner number 2.
Heading down to the back straightaway now. Wells back all over the back bump of 44. Now heading down into turn number 3. Wells back, looks down low. Can't make it happen to 44. Cuts his nose off a little bit there. Heading down into the corner. Trying to defend that 2nd position. Late in the race, expect these types of battles, Corey. And, well, these guys are trying to show what they can do for the 2nd position here.
Yes, they are, and I think they've almost kind of given up hope of the lead at this point, unless the 2 messes up or we have a late race caution. I don't really see them being able to get that 0.6 of a second gap that the 2 has, so this could be the battle for second, not the battle for the win. That will be the contest tonight. But coming off of corner number 2, top 4 or 5 have settled up, Ricky Fagone and under the 68 of Phil Gary. Entering corner 3 and 4 for going all the way to the white line there. Also, Robert Victory. They're going to be 3 wide. Victory into the fence off corner number 4.
Oh, that 7 machine up at the outside wall. He holds it on up there. No caution, but Phil Gary and Ricky Fagone still going to hold side by side.
Yes, they are.
Fagone moves the 68 up the racetrack just a little bit. That allows that 20 machine to clear.
At this point in the race, Brandon, we are 7.5 laps away from the checkers here tonight, and they have run 14 laps. It'll be about a 20-lap stint to the end of the race. I think we're far enough into this run now where tire wear may be coming into play and kind of hurting these guys with their pack racing battles. But actually, I'll tell you, that 44, I kind of sailed it off and gave the 2 machine the win already, but Ward has cut into that gap. It was a half second. Now it's only about a quarter of a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Ward trying to jump into that lead from McDaniel. The draft plays a big part of the racing here from Auto Club Speedway, especially in the trucks. So maybe, just maybe, he can get the back bumper and have a shot at the win here. Coming down 6 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, we are gonna have a battle here. I don't know why I called it off so early. I didn't think that 44 had the long run pace or maybe saved enough tires, but he clearly did that. We'll see if this pulls any more drivers in, as Walzenbeck and Cooper, 3rd and 4th, are nearly a second or so behind this battle, but 5 laps to go, and we have only about 3 feet separating the top 2.
Ward slowly but surely pulling in that 2 machine, now heading down through turns 3 and 4, trying to get to his back bumper.
Looks like there was a little bit of a bobble from both of them off of corner number 4 that time by, but the momentum in the favor of that 44 truck as McDaniel drops down all the way to the apron to try to block him here, and they wash all the way up to the wall for entry into corner number 1. We'll see who can get the better run through this corner. Looks pretty even on both parts. We'll see if any wiggles on corner exit happen. Does not look like that is the case either, as we have a battle for the 3rd spot. Here comes Cooper with another shot underneath the 29 truck.
Yeah, side by side for that 3rd position, heading down into turn number 3 now. Cooper trying to take a look under Welzenbeck. Welzenbeck with momentum up on the high side. Cooper has the advantage down low now, trying to clear. Looks like Cooper will take that 3rd position.
Yes, he does. We'll see if there's reciprocation from the number 29 truck. I'd have to imagine that there will be, and what do you know? There is. Here he comes underneath him with the delayed crossover, if you will, entering corner number 1 and 2, seeing if he can keep that truck down to the white line. We know it is getting difficult to do so, but Cooper hanging on up top.
Bradley Cooper trying to hang on to that position. Now Welzenbach trying to get the position back from him. Heading down into turn number 3. The 29 on the low side. 5 up on the high side. Welzenbach tries to push him up the racetrack just a little bit. Welzenbach will clear now. Here comes Cooper with a crossover once again.
Yes, there is, and we will be coming to 3 laps to go. 6 miles left in this race for Rivalry Racing. And Brandon, what do you think is going to happen right now? Do you think the 44 is giving it his all, or do you think he's maybe planning a last lap pass?
It's hard to say. I'd say if he's going to try to get there, he has to try to get there now. But that's just me.
Because at this point, we know how much crossovers have happened. I would be worried to make a pass too early and then be going back and forth and maybe lose the race that way, but we will see what happens. He has kind of stayed solid at about 1.5, maybe 2 truck lengths back. Looks like he did drop back a little bit through 3 and 4 this time by, but we'll see what happens. He has a little bit of time left. He only has 2 laps to go.
Yeah, I think if he's going to try to wait for a move, he's got to get close to his bumper, but he could be trying to give it his all right now, Corey. Maybe his tires are just too worn to do anything right now.
Yeah, that very well is a plausible situation right now. Entering corner number 1 and 2, I don't think he's going to get a very good run this time at all. I think he pushed up just a little bit too much through the center of 1 and 2. The gap stays about even. We're going to head down the back straightaway for the penultimate time. Entering corner number 3 and 4, can McDaniel get his 4th win of the season? Can Ward get it into victory lane for the first time? We're going to figure out in 1 more lap around the Auto Club Speedway.
White flag is out this time. 1 lap to go with the Rivalry Racing League National Championship Truck Series from Auto Club, the first race of the chase. 2 chase drivers try to battle it out for the win. The 44 right behind the 2 of McDaniel.
44 to gets to the inside. 2 nails his marks as well. That's not going to allow any kind of gap closure by the 44. We're going to come down the back straightaway for the final time. McDaniel seems to have a very safe lead.
Heading down through turns 3 and 4, Travis McDaniel made it through a couple of bigger wrecks here. Now in a position to take the checker flag off of turn number 4. Travis McDaniel going to win it at Auto Club Speedway.
A hard-fought battle by the 44. Bryant Ward takes it home in 2nd spot. And Bradley Cooper coming in the 3rd position here. Non-chase driver sneaking in an excellent run here tonight. We're going to step away just for a brief moment, get these guys out of the trucks and ready for some interviews, so stay with us here. We'll be right back with you.
I don't enjoy going on there all the time because I don't win a lot, so it's frustrating to see myself struggle to run top 10 in an Xfinity race or something like that and get beat by Logan Seavey every time I run a sprint car. So the level of competition on iRacing is better than real life. I mean, you've got thousands of drivers on there that, a lot of them are probably better than the people you see on TV. They just haven't had the opportunities to make it, but can kick butt on there, and you can spend all day long running thousands of laps a day, so you can get yourself really good at it. So competition level is just unbelievable really on there. I mean, everybody's been asking for dirt on there for forever. So when they announced it, I got really, really excited. And honestly, it's blown my expectations away. The cars, to me, drive really good when the track's hooked up. The visual part of the racetrack changing is amazing. How you can run some laps and see it start to get shiny, and then you feel it getting slick. Areas of the racetrack getting dirty, and then you get some cars run through there and it cleans off and gets grip back. It's nuts. The tear-off feature is really cool. Watching the wing move backwards and forwards. I run with the virtual reality headset too, so being able to look down and see everything, it looks extremely realistic. So yeah, it blew my expectations away. And it's only going to get better, really.
We are back here on PTR TV after what was a very exciting race here by the Rivalry Racing guys here live at the Auto Club Speedway. We have caught up with the top 3 finishers here tonight for post-race interviews. In the first one, Brandon has caught up with Bradley Cooper, the 3rd place finisher.
Bradley Cooper coming home in 3rd place tonight. Nice podium finish tonight, man. How do you feel?
Pretty good. I think the track was a lot tighter than it usually is with its night setup, so it was a good time. Feel pretty good.
Well, you know, tell us a little bit about your race. We saw you kind of mid-pack the whole time, but in the end, man, you really came out like a rocket.
Well, I didn't get a lot of practice in, so that didn't help me any, but starting out, we were just figuring out the track, and we had that long green flag run, and I started picking guys off. I got up to about 6th place before that 2nd caution that took out David and a couple other guys. And I knew that if I lifted earlier, I could save my tires. We didn't have a long enough run for the finish, but if we would have had a longer green flag run towards the end, I think I probably would have had something for the win.
Yeah, I mean, well, you had a front row seat for that big rack down the back straight away. Tell us a little bit about what you saw there.
The viewing distance, it picked the car up. I saw smoke. It looked like somebody lost it on the apron maybe, or tagged someone, and then a car just went airborne. iRacing gave you a 4X for touching the car, but I didn't get any damage from it. I just saw it land on my hood, and kind of a heart-dropping moment for me there, but it was a good time.
Well, awesome finish here tonight. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank the shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the guys at Outcast, Travis for putting on this league, you guys for broadcasting, you guys doing a fantastic job. So that's pretty much it. Thanks, guys.
All right, awesome job. Ladies and gentlemen, coming home in the 3rd position is Bradley Cooper. And now I believe Corey has caught up with 2nd place finisher, Brian Ward.
Way hard. Well, I couldn't do nothing.
All right, Bryant, we talked to you mid-race there with that interview, and you had a pretty good run going, and you had a shot at the win, couldn't quite get there and make a move on Travis. Talk about how that race ended for you.
Yeah, well, it was pretty good. I, beat him off pit road there and got the lead. I shouldn't say beat him off pit road early, and then it looked like Phil got out a little bit. I don't know if he took 2 tires or what, but I felt like I was going to probably get around him, and I did. And then once Travis got around me, I thought, well, there he goes, and I honestly didn't think I was going to catch him. He seems to be a little bit better on long runs than me, and then all of a sudden I started making some time on him, and I thought I maybe had a chance at him, but I think just that little bit of aero push in the front caused the truck to start pushing again when I got up close to him, and then I didn't have nothing. I think our tires were pretty much the same, so it was a great race. I hate to see what happened to Brandon. I don't know, it was just kind of a racing incident. I don't know if he pinched me down a little bit or if I got into him both or what, but hate to see that for him. And anyway, I might get a penalty out of the deal or not quite sure, but either way, it was a great race, great start to the chase, so pretty happy about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, obviously a 2nd place finish heading into the next round of the chase cannot be a bad way to start it. What are your thoughts headed towards next week's race at Pocono?
Well, I like it. It's a little bit more like a road course, and that's what I really like. Racing is the road course is a little bit better, and that may have a little bit of advantage. I'd hate to see David go out tonight the way he did, because I think he was involved in that same accident. So sorry to see him going out early, and probably ruined his chance at a championship when he's probably the guy that we were here to beat tonight. So, but looking forward to going into the next race with at least starting 2nd next week, I hope, and Pocono is a pretty good track of mine, and I hope to do well.
I'm assuming it'll be the new version of Pocono, so it's probably going to be a new set of challenges for you guys, but we'll be watching. Who do you want to give a shout out to tonight, Brian?
Well, my teammate Brooks Potts, Devil Dog Racing, our race team, and thanks to Travis and Dave, we practiced some this week, so we had a good time doing that. So I appreciate everybody's help, and look forward to next week. Thanks, Travis, for the host again. It was a great time.
All right, congrats again, Brian. Hopefully we will talk to you then again at Pocono next week.
Thank you.
And Brandon has caught up with tonight's winner yet again, the 4th time this season, Travis McDaniel.
Yeah, he's out of the race car now. Your winner here tonight from Auto Club Speedway, driver number 2 Chevrolet, Travis McDaniel. Travis, how you feeling?
Oh, I am wore out. That is, I'm glad we started this off this way. This is awesome.
Well, obviously coming home with the win here tonight. Tell us a little bit about your race.
Well, it was an eventful one. Started off thinking it was going to be caution-free, and that went out the window real quick, and then pit strategy got thrown out the window, and went down pit road, overslid the pit box, tried to throw it in reverse, ripped the my shifter off its holder, and so then I went about 30 seconds in VR trying to fiddle around with this thing, get it hooked back up, and then it went to 9th, and I thought, well, there goes that. So able to get a few spots back, and then we got the caution there late at the end, allowed me to come in and get some tires, and you know, it's hard racing there at the end with only 19 to go and as racy as these trucks are, and thank God everybody gave room. That was a ton of fun right there with Bryant, and the respect between us, you know, being able to race that close without having to worry about wrecking each other was awesome. So really glad came out of here with a win, and I'm just stoked right now.
Well, tell us a little bit about that last wreck. You had a front row seat. What was going through your mind when you saw, you know, the 11 hit the wall, and all of a sudden trucks are scattered in front of you?
Yeah, I didn't see what started it. All I saw was smoke, and then I got on the brakes, and then I think a couple guys behind me didn't, or right in front of me didn't, and you know, David I think was one of them. Unfortunately for him, he got caught in it. I think teammate Garrett got caught in it. I think that whole team got taken out in that one wreck there. I didn't really know what to do. I just hit the brakes, and I guess practice at Talladega last week kind of helped me for that.
Well, awesome job tonight, Travis. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank of a shout out to?
Yep, thank y'all for broadcasting. Say hi to friends and family. Found out I had some people watching I didn't know was watching, so hey to everybody. Hey, we put on a good show tonight. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Another shout out to Ched, because in the last 20 laps I didn't breathe a whole lot, and he was in my ear telling me to take a few breaths, so I appreciate that from him, because if not, I might would have put it in the wall. So thanks to everybody watching. We got 3 more to go. It's going to be a good show just like this one tonight, so stay tuned.
Awesome job, Travis. Your winner here from Auto Club Speedway, Travis McDaniel.
Yep, that number 2 machine getting the playoff started on the right foot here with a victory tonight. So let's figure out here and wrap up coverage of tonight's broadcast with the final results here from the Auto Club Speedway. With the victory tonight, obviously Travis McDaniel in the number 2 truck leading 35 laps around the Auto Club Speedway here tonight. Bryant Ward with the 2nd, Bradley Cooper in 3rd, Matthew Walzenbeck a good finish in 4th, Ricky Fagone in the 5th spot. Phil Gary 6th, Ched Martin in 7th, Robert Victory in 8th, Michael Tibetz in 9th, and Patrick Howard in 10th. And then 11th spot, we had Brandon Stokes, Joseph McOrder in 12th, Garrett Grant in 13th, David Weishart, a very surprisingly bad finish after that wreck, all the way back in 14th position. Tim Rosano in 5th, Chris Seidenfaden in 16th, and then Brooks Potts rounding out the field in 17th.
So, folks, that is your finishing order here for tonight. Of course, I'd like to thank everybody that helps us out on the channel. Corey Silva for, producing a majority of the nights for us. Our guys behind the scenes. Michael DeGroat, our PR guy, and also now our 2nd producer on the channel, Joe Chris, our quality control, behind the scenes every night for every broadcast, so much appreciated by him and our whole crew. And of course, these broadcasts wouldn't be possible without our channel sponsors, starting out with Movement Fabrications, a family-run business formally established in 2012. With over 25 years of experience in the ventilation industry, they offer a wide range of services. This includes ducting, ventilation, extraction, and canopies. If you're in the Nottingham, UK area, Movement Fabrications is the ventilation service to trust. Also, Krutz Custom Graphics, custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is always P1. Also, iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Custom graphics, coding, and theme design for iRacing's two main overlay systems, ATBO and IRTBO. If you're a broadcast company looking to make your channel shine with custom overlays, talk to Jason Allison with iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Also, be sure to check out Track Cams for Gourmet. Custom camera angles and a lot of cool custom camera angles for broadcasting or whatever you may need it for. If you're interested, be sure to check him out at trackcams22.com or facebook.com/trackcams. And be sure to check out our Patreon to keep broadcast quality high and costs low for league owners. We need a little help from the fans. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/PTRTV. If you become a patron, we'll give you rewards that vary depending on how much you donate. Become a patron at patreon.com/PTRTV.
Well, that's another broadcast here on PTR TV. Brought you the Rivalry Racing Race 1 of their chase. Victory going to Travis McDaniel, so congratulations to him. Stay tuned tomorrow night. The Hardline Racing Lead Midwest Power Source takes live at 9:30 Eastern from the Michigan Speedway. Then, of course, on Monday night, we will have the Integrity Racing League Tuesday American Sim Racing Series and the Racer's Mind 10-year review of iRacing coming up in the near future. We will confirm that date because we had to reschedule due to some circumstances. But regardless of that, signing out of the booth tonight is Corey Silva, Brandon Krutz, and Joe Chris behind the scenes. Have a great night, and we will catch you next time.
Have a great night, everybody, and catch you tomorrow night.